Mardi Gras, and Carnival. Music so loud that it rattles your bones. A storm of confetti and glitter raining onto the street. A roar of laughter and fun. Beads, parades, dancing. This time brings communities together in a whirlwind of colors and music. These dazzling celebrations have their roots deeply entwined in rich history and culture. These holidays are said to stem from ancient cultures, traced back to feasts centered on the coming of spring and celebrating fertility. The Greek god Dionysius, god of wine and life of the party, inspired ancient Greeks to celebrate the passage of winter to summer with a great feast, plenty of wine, and a roaring fire. Romans were inspired by this practice and created a version of this celebration called the Feast of Saturnalia. When Christianity arrived in Rome, the church adopted this feast so that it was a celebration held before Lent. Communities engaged in lavish feasts and masquerades as a final hurrah before a season of fasting and self-reflection. Mardi Gras and Carnival are mostly celebrated in regions where Catholicism is the dominant religious tradition, and it's usually celebrated right before the season of Lent begins in mid-February, a period of restraint after a night or several nights of nonstop fun and excitement. Mardi Gras is French and directly translates to Fat Tuesday. The name would be in an anticipatory reference to how people would binge on rich, decadent meals, meats, cheeses, wine, hoping to indulge in their cravings before Lent officially arrives. Yet there is a deeper significance beyond the food, spectacle, and merrymaking. Both Mardi Gras and Carnival also have interesting cultural ties. The first modern Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans took place in 1837. Street performances included masqueraders, carriages, and torches. This led to the first appearance of crews, namely the Mystic Crew of Comus, an iconic group of 6 Mobile, Alabama natives whose identities remain a mystery to this day. Crews are clubs or organizations that exist to celebrate Carnival and Mardi Gras. As this first crewer arrived in style, riding on grand parade floats, wearing intricate Venetian masks, decades later in 1870, a second crew named the 12th Night Revelers appeared and showered onlookers with beads, trinkets, and more. This was the first instance of Mardi Gras throws. Radio stations and newspaper headlines would start broadcasting the coming parade, excited for the vibrant and elaborate parades that wind their way through the streets, led by majestic floats adorned with flamboyant decorations. Now popularized crews would organize floats and performances that are thematic to the spirit of New Orleans and of Mardi Gras. From glittering sequins to feathered masks, the attire is as diverse as the celebration itself. The streets become a runway for a display of creativity where people transform into mythical beings, jesters, and royalty. The streets becoming a theatrical stage for applause and performance. Since then, America has embraced the celebration with open arms, turning Mardi Gras into an extravaganza that captivates the hearts and imaginations of all who partake. In the heart of the vibrant Caribbean, where the sun kisses the turquoise waters, Trinidad and Tobago is said to be the mother of Carnival. The origins of the Caribbean Carnival can be traced back to the fusion of African, European, and indigenous traditions in the 18th century. Its history dates back to a period of slavery, when slaves were deprived of the opportunities of participating in parties and balls held by the French in power. They would instead improvise by gathering and staging their own event in their living quarters. In the late 18th century, Carnival evolved in its own right from the celebration of can brûlés. Can brûlés translates to sugarcane burning, as enslaved Africans would purposely burn sugarcane to resist slavery by disrupting its export of sugar. During can brûlés, performers would play on drum-like instruments, playing music tied to African culture. This music would be an act of ownership of their own culture and rebellion. The French had banned the use of drums, deeming it too crass, but there is innovation in defiance. Thus came the creation of the steel drum. Today's music used for Carnival would now be called calypso and soca songs. These musical traditions typically include steel drums and often explore themes of rebellion, empowerment, and social commentary. With the evolution of can brûlés, participants would often dress up in costumes criticizing their past oppressors, or in costumes that their multicultural roots would inspire. One iconic figure is the Moko Jumbi, a stilt-walking character rooted in West African tradition, with the word Moko translating to ghost. Another popular persona is the Midnight Robber, a beloved figure in traditional Carnival known for his striking wit, but even more so his robber talk, a distinct way of speaking that was derived from African storytellers. These examples of what the can brûlés call old mas have become less popular, while pretty mas costumes, more associated with feathers, sequins, and sparkles, have surged in popularity and attracted more people to join in on the festivities. Today, the streets are flooded with mas bands, vibrant and dynamic ensembles that form the backbone of Carnival celebrations. They inject energy and joy into the streets, a moving gallery of cultural celebration. The bands bring together elaborate costumes and exuberant performers to create a dazzling spectacle during the party. Each mas band showcases the creativity and cultural richness of the participants. The costumes often tell stories inspired by history, mythology, or contemporary issues. Carnival is a jubilant commemoration of joy and liberation, marking the emancipation of slaves from various regions. Carnival represented not only resistance and liberation, but also a holistic Caribbean identity. The celebration of Carnival continues to be a significant aspect of the Caribbean identity, embracing everyone, and at its essence, embodying resistance through joy and the reclamation of spaces. Carnival and Mardi Gras, though deeply rooted in the traditions of Europe, the Americas, and the Caribbean, have taken on a life of their own worldwide. Celebrations marked by exuberance, music, and revelry transcend borders and cultures, uniting people in a shared pursuit of joy. In Europe, each country infuses Carnival with its unique flavor. Venice, Italy is renowned for its elaborate masquerade balls and intricate masks that transport participants to an old era of opulence. Germany's Cologne Carnival boasts lively parades, vibrant street parties, and a playful atmosphere that captures the spirit of the season. Back across the Atlantic in Brazil, the renowned Rio de Janeiro Carnival steals the spotlight with its samba-filled streets, extravagant costumes, and the famous Samba Drone Parade, attracting millions of partygoers from around the globe. Countries like Nigeria and Ghana have embraced carnival-like festivals in Africa, blending indigenous traditions with contemporary influences. For instance, the Calabar Carnival in Nigeria showcases a fusion of cultural performances, music, and dance. In the grand finale of this carnival of delights, the clock strikes midnight. The revelry reaches its crescendo. Yet, in the echoes of the final trumpet, there is a bittersweet note, a reminder that the magic of Mardi Gras, like all good things, must come to an end. As the last notes fade away, the city embraces the onset of Lent with a collective sigh, knowing that the vibrant tapestry of Mardi Gras and Carnival will be folded away, ready to be unfurled once again the following year. In essence, both holidays have evolved into a global celebration, transcending cultural and geographical boundaries. As people across the world dress up, dance, and drink, Carnival and Mardi Gras stand as a testament to the universal human need for celebration and communal joy. History and celebration dance hand in hand, leaving behind a legacy of joy, unity, and the enduring spirit of revelry.